Today's program is brought to you by OTCStockShark.com. For the latest and greatest OTC and Pink Sheets information, sign up for your account at OTCStockShark.com. Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.
In financial news, a subtle but significant shift appears to be occurring within the Federal Reserve over the course of monetary policy amid increasing signs that the economic recovery is weakening. James Bullard, the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, warned that the Fed's current policies were putting the American economy at risk of becoming enmeshed in a Japanese-style deflationary outcome within the next several years. The warning by Mr. Bullard, who is a voting member of the Fed committee that determines interest rates, comes days after Ben Bernanke, the Fed chairman, said the central bank was prepared to do more to stimulate the economy if needed, though it has no immediate plans to do so. Mr. Bullard had been associated with the camp that sees inflation, the Fed's traditional enemy, as a greater threat than deflation. In U.S. news, the House Financial Services Committee approved a bill that would effectively legalize online poker and other non-sports betting, overturning a 2006 federal ban that critics say merely drove web-based casinos offshore. The bill would direct the Treasury Department to license and regulate internet gambling operations, while a companion measure, pending before another committee, would allow the Internal Revenue Service to tax such businesses. Winnings by individual would also be taxed as regular gambling winnings are now. The taxes could yield as much as $42 billion for the government over the next 10 years. The two measures, which are backed by banks and credit unions but have divided casinos and American Indian tribes, are far from being law. A bill to legalize online poker, sponsored by Senator Robert Menendez, Democrat of New Jersey, has not yet had a hearing. The congressional timetable has little spare room before the midterm elections, and the Obama administration has not taken in a position. But the vote suggests a willingness by Congress to look for unconventional ways of plugging holes in the budget, and comes as struggling states have also been looking to extract revenue from the gambling industry, which took a hard hit as consumers cut back on travel and entertainment during the recession, but continues to reap billions of dollars in annual profits. The committee vote was 41-22, with 7 Republicans joining most Democrats on the panel in favor of the measure. In international news, Ivan Tyurkin trudged along a pier and surveyed the breeding ponds all around him. He did not need a thermometer to know that the water was treacherously tepid. Dead trout drifting like buoys were evidence enough. Last month, they were flipping and flopping and leaping, and Mr. Tyurkin was readying for another bountiful harvest at the Byoversky fish farm at this suburb of Moscow. But now, after weeks of a merciless heat wave that has found seemingly endless ways of wreaking havoc across much of Russia, the farm was in crisis. Mr. Tyurkin said, "This is all just very difficult to believe. There has never been a summer like this." That is a widely held view in Russia, a country that proudly swaggers about during most of the brutal of winters, but can be ill-prepared for when the sun blazes. All week long, temperatures have been soaring to records, and they reached a new high for Moscow, 100 degrees. July has been the hottest month since the city began taking such measurements 130 years ago.
Think you're too busy to work out? Think again. Now there's the Ab Circle Pro, the fastest, easiest way to lose those love handles and get the sexy sculpted body you've always wanted.
The secret is the Ab Circle Pro combines cardio and abs to burn fat, while its unique friction-free track uses the momentum of gravity to target your entire midsection in a full circular motion, firing your core like no other machine has ever done. Best of all, it's fun and easy and takes just 3 minutes a day. And now, through this exclusive TV offer, the Ab Circle Pro can be yours to try in your home for 30 days for just $14.95. And if you call within the next 10 minutes, we'll send you Jennifer Nicole Lee's complete Lose Your Love Handle system, which includes our 3-minute express workout and nutritional guide, absolutely free.
Call 1-800-310-1646 to try Ab Circle Pro for $14.95 plus shipping with credit card order. Call now for free upgrade to priority processing. That's 1-800-310-1646.
In entertainment news, President Barack Obama tried to revive his common touch with a mainly lighthearted appearance on the daytime television show The View, where 5 women hosts grilled him about his BlackBerry, Lindsay Lohan, and the Afghan War. His appearance was the first by a sitting U.S. president on a daytime talk show. It allowed Obama to appeal directly to a targeted audience as he fights for flagging poll numbers while he and his fellow Democrats try to avoid big losses in the November congressional election. In a wide-ranging interview, Obama defended his Afghan war strategy and efforts to lift the country out of recession, but said he expected things to get better over time. He said he was frustrated with the anger of political debate and blamed the media for a recent phony controversy that led to the firing of a black Agriculture Department employee who appeared to be making racist comments in an edited videotape that was shown repeatedly by conservative media. Obama said the Afghanistan war is worth fighting. When asked about the recent leak of documents painting a bleak picture of the unpopular conflict which bitterly divides his own Democratic Party, Obama showed he has some grasp of popular culture. He knew that actress Lindsay Lohan had been sent to jail and dodged a question about tapes of angry telephone calls by actor Mel Gibson. Obama also lamented his inability to enjoy technology. He is the first president to use a BlackBerry, but he can enjoy the jokes and pictures that fill most inboxes. In green news, you'd be forgiven for thinking that AB 32, California's climate change law, was truly controversial. Republican candidates running for office this year have taken to publicly bashing it, calling it a job killer and worse. You might think that fighting climate change is a contentious issue across the board. Well, it's not. No matter how badly California's GOP hopefuls batter the law, the public still thinks it's a good idea, by very large margins. Yes, the most recent polling reveals that a full 2/3 of Californians are embracing the law, which was signed by Governor Schwarzenegger and aims to slash carbon emissions 15% to 1990 levels over the next 10 years. The state's climate change law, AB 32, has been a hot topic on the campaign trail this year, with the Republican candidates for governor and U.S. Senate branding it as a job killer, as opponents of the law marshal support for a November ballot measure that would suspend implementation until the state's employment rate drops to 5.5% for a year. But despite the controversy over the 2006 law, which would reduce greenhouse gas emissions to 1990 levels by 2020, a new poll shows that 67% of California residents continue to back it, about the same level as a year ago. In health news, vitamin D promises to be the most talked about and written about supplement of the decade. While studies continue to refine optimal blood levels and recommended dietary amounts, the fact remains that a huge part of the population, from robust newborns to the frail elderly and many others in between, are deficient in this essential nutrient. If the findings of existing clinical trials hold up in future research, the potential consequences of this deficiency are likely to go far beyond inadequate bone development and excessive bone loss that can result in falls and fracture. Every tissue in the body, including the brain, heart, muscles, and immune systems, has receptors for vitamin D, meaning that this nutrient is needed at proper levels for these tissues to function well. Studies indicate that the effects of a vitamin D deficiency include an elevated risk of developing cancers of the colon, breast, and prostate, high blood pressure and cardiovascular disease, osteoarthritis, and immune system abnormalities that can result in infections and autoimmune disorders like multiple sclerosis, type 1 diabetes, and rheumatoid arthritis. Most people in the modern world have lifestyles that prevent them from acquiring the levels of vitamin D that evolution intended us to have. The sun's ultraviolet B rays absorbed through the skin are the body's main source of this nutrient. Early humans evolved near the equator, where sun exposure is intense year-round, and minimally clothed people spent most of the day outdoors.
Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.
The makeup in today's program is provided by MAC Cosmetics.